What is currently happening that is scaring you? That homeless people in my town are being found with their limbs cut off behind a clothing store. That is terrifying. I'm sorry, what? Where is this? Small town in CA. Tracy? I would have guessed the same. I moved out of that shithole as soon as I possibly could. Never ever going back. A recent medical test showed I have high levels of arsenic in my body, yet it's not in my water nor has it been since I've lived in my current location. Do you eat rice? Arsenic is highly water-soluble and rice paddies in some areas are notorious for poisoning via absorption from irrigation. I believe it's brown rice specifically. So if Op is eating brown rice more than 2 to 3 times a week, it could be contributing to his arsenic levels. Brown rice 2 to 3 times per week. Uh-oh. I've been out of work for about a year with back issues and I'm damn near broke. Like, really broke, as in maybe homeless at my advanced stage. Back problems have spiked in America in the last few decades and the medical community has no idea why back problems have suddenly become so prevalent. The worst part is no doctor knows how to effectively treat back problems and there are hardly any consensus on effective treatment. Join us at /r/backpain and welcome to the club. People spend more time sitting now than ever before. Programmer here, who had to have a crush disc removed between my L3 and L4. I am older, but there are many colleagues much younger who have back issues. Sit down all day, back hurts. Stand up all day, back hurts. Gotta move just the right amount I guess. Sitting in chairs just so happens to be the worst back position there is. So bad that it apparently ruins the muscles that let us stand up properly, too. So both positions make the problem worse. I suggest Slav squatting. Edit. Thanks for responding guys, now my back hurts, My fucking gallbladder. About 2 months ago, I started having the worst pain of my life out of fucking nowhere, sometimes for hours at a time. Doctor said just change your diet but even after doing that, I still have attacks sometimes. I treated myself to a single ice cream sandwich and felt like I had been stabbed in my stomach until I threw up for 20 minutes and felt fine again. I finally have a consultation with a surgeon to talk about getting it removed but anytime I eat anything even vaguely fatty I get super stressed out and I've developed mild food anxiety. I get stressed out eating literally anything because it might set off another attack and I literally don't feel mentally strong enough for it. I get an attack once every 2 to 3 weeks now. Frown. Edit. It's definitely gallstones, don't worry. I've had an ultrasound done and they're there. Still, thank you everyone for the concern and tips. My friend just said she's been starving herself and hearing voices. I don't know how or if I can help her. She's also slightly depressed. Teenage years make weird shit. Edit. I woke up this morning to about 35 messages saying, get help. Or something along those lines. She said, after I posted this was a few months ago and she's told her parents. And is eating more. Thanks for the support and I'll send some of it her way. Edit 2. I talked to her again and she confessed to her dad and he set her up for a therapist appointment on Friday. She is on her way to recovery. I sent her this comment thread, so she is seeing all your advice. She thanks you for your help. Tell someone who is an adult, anyone. This friend needs serious help. My partner of 3 years and I, officially separated yesterday. All my plans, dreams and long-term goals have involved her in some way or another and I feel incredibly lost. I'm terrified of a future without her, but I know I need to get through this. Edit. Thank you all for the kind words, it means a lot. I'm doing better today than I was yesterday and I believe that will continue to be the case going forward. Less than 3. I went through this in 2016. Dated a girl for 3 years, she was my first love, yada yada, fell head over heels and planned my entire life around her. I couldn't conceive of a time without her. And then one day she was gone. Few weeks later she was with someone else. I was at the cliff edge of suicide and was the most anguished and isolated I've ever been. I didn't know how to exist without her. Funnily enough, an old cliché turned out to be true. Time healed things. Slowly, steadily, I went outside. I talked with friends. Confided in family. Started reading more. Took up hobbies. Threw myself into fitness and then university. 3 years later, when I went from what I thought was something, to nothing, and then actually something, I am a stronger and renewed human being, thankful for that crucible. I have a degree, I am physically fit, more educated and wise, more whole, and my current girlfriend just sent me a text saying she wants to spend her life with me. Things will improve. I promise you. Please stay strong and expand yourself beyond the horizons of what you once knew. You will thrive. I really appreciate you taking the time to write that. Thank you. I had a kidney transplant 2 weeks ago and just got a 9 p.m. call that my lab numbers look like I might have internal bleeding. I'm scared I'm going to lose my new kidney before I've even healed. Edit. Thanks everyone for the support and gilding, even if I don't quite understand it lol. I didn't expect this to blow up like this. Waiting for an appointment for a scan to learn more. Hoping for the best. They haven't sent me via ER so I shouldn't be too worried I guess. I'm in no way trying to give you false hope, and obviously you should listen to your doctors above any random medical information from a stranger on the internet, but if this is based on lab values, you're likely just coming back anemic, low blood volume, after your surgery, and you might just require a transfusion. People suffer from minor anemia after major surgeries a lot, especially if their medications, like the ones post-transplant, are changed around. I wish you the best though, and I hope that everything goes well. Dialysis is no fun, but a lot of people can have a good quality of life with it, if it ever gets to that point. I'm so sorry and I hope it all turns out okay for you. The fact that my world feels like it's getting flipped upside down no matter what way I turn, and the fact that the person I was supposed to spend my life with, my kid's father, isn't in love with me anymore. Me too. My wife moved out. I miss her so much but she said she didn't love me. I didn't know that trying to fall out of love would hurt so much. Turning 30 soon. Time feels like it has sped up since high school. I blink and the years seem to fly by. Makes me contemplate life and what I should spend my time and focus on, squeezing the most out of things while I still have my youth. I feel like I'm going to blink again and be turning 50. Yep, that's how it goes. I just turned 30 about a year or two ago and now I'm 38. 32 here and my daughter is due in September, our first child. I feel this time warp effect already and it weighs on my mind like some kind of weird FOMO. How bad is time going to warp once most of my time outside of work will now be put towards the development and care of my child instead of pursuing my bucket list? Don't get me wrong, I am thrilled and excited to be a father, no resentment. I do think this will make the time warp worse, though. As someone that is a little further into where you are, I find that your bucket list changes to include your child but it's still every bit as fulfilling. Me scrolling through Reddit when my panicked mind is forever trapped in a lazy, procrastinating body. I used to think I was lazy and beat myself up about procrastinating. Yet it isn't about laziness, it's an emotional issue. You are putting off doing something because you don't want to feel the anxiety/stress/discomfort that you imagine the task will produce. Yet by doing something low stress, Reddit, instead, you make shit worse for yourself. I found this article to be a bit helpful. Anxiety will make you feel crippled. It was my reality for years and I suspect using the word lazy to describe it isn't going to help you at all. Do small things daily, try and get a routine, just the minimal, shower/brush teeth if you feel that's hard enough to do. My son, who turned 18 last week, is making the most horrible life decisions. He's going to wind up in jail or dead. I'm so scared for him and of him. My ex-wife's brother went down that road. His friend group was abysmal. Made awful choices with drugs. Knew him for 9 years, almost 10. From 18 to 21 he went straight downhill and his parents tried to pray it out of him instead of seeking professional help. A year after her and I divorced, his father found him dead of an overdose in his bedroom. Sometimes I wish I had tried harder to be there to help him. I tried to talk him into the military or anything to get him away from that shit group of people. He just wouldn't bite. R.I.P. buddy. I'm so sorry. It took a lot of gumption and humility to take my son to the ER. I feel for your in-laws, it's hard. But it's stories just like this that made me do it. I'm a nurse in a small community. I went so far as to take my son to a hospital 80 miles away. 1. They have a dedicated pediatric ER. 2. No one would be like I know Dual and Dual Jr. They're fine. Just release him. I needed unbiased eyes, not my nursing school friends. Just found out that a married couple in my city kept an elderly lady as a slave for 20 years. My city is somewhat quiet so this really freaked me out. Edit. The lady is now together with her sister, hopefully things will get better. It's really sinister since the city is a great place to live, no homicides or whatsoever in years. It seems that the situation is being handled. What in the actual fuck? My reaction as well. Yeah right? An elderly person would make a terrible slave. Depends on how you think of it. I'm sure it's pretty hard for an elderly person to defend themselves, especially against two adults. About 2 months ago I got mugged by 3 guys and the police were the most ignorant thing I had ever witnessed. Ever since that I've been kinda scared to leave the house. Edit. Thank you for your advices and positive feedback. I actually feel a lot better after hearing all of what you had to say. Reddit is awesome for things like these. It's amazing the amount of people that tried to make me feel better. I tried to answer to all, but if I didn't, well then, sorry about that. Also thanks for that gold and silver, and don't worry, the robbers can't get these goods. Aha. I once got locked out of my apartment at night and attempted to break in by hopping the chain link fence and trying the back door. There was a police car parked about 20 feet away in direct view and I thought for sure I would have to provide proof of residence. He watched and did nothing. Felt real safe after that. He was probably napping. I wish he was, but we made eye contact right before he drove away. The aging of my parents. It's like one day I just woke up and realized they were more than halfway through their lives. I keep wanting to reset their clocks. Yep. My dad passed last Wednesday. I took it pretty hard, despite knowing it was coming, due to his age, and couple health issues. Now I'm at the point where I don't believe he's gone, and have come to my own realization that I don't want to get old. I just don't. From this 65-year-old, no THST research shows that this is the most happy time of life. I lift weights, race walk 4 miles a day and am healthy and strong. It is a privilege growing old and I love my life. Orgasms have never been better, nothing at all to fear, especially if you take care of yourself. Yeah, Grandma, bust those nuts. My wife's grandfather once described sex after 70 as trying to stuff a marshmallow into a piggy bank. Delete.